Up, everybody? It's Dave with the cream, and today we're talking about how to stick to your dang goals. Ain't this so important? Especially, we see it all the time. How many times New Year's comes around, everybody sets the big resolutions, everybody sets these big plans. How long does it take before 80%, 90% of people fall off, completely fall off the wagon? And the reason I know so many people do, not only do I see it, but I used to be one of these people on the highest level. I was always the biggest talker where I would set these big goals, especially when I was drinking alcohol. That's when the dumbest goals get set. That's where you're drinking and like, oh, this is what I'm going to be. I'm going to be something. We always set these dumb goals when we're under the influence or, it's just absolutely ridiculous. When we commit, this is about commitment. What we're talking about on our personal development journey right now is commitment. And I'm going to talk about today on some things that I do to help us and help me commit to this damn plan, everybody. Commit to this plan of personal development. Commit to these goals so we're not falling off, starting over all the time. That's so crazy to me. So many times of these goal plans, right? This is completely me, guys. The old me. I would sign up for every damn challenge, right? Sign up for these. Oh, it's a 90-day challenge. We're gonna do this for 90 days or 75 hard. Oh, for the next 75 days, I'm gonna be relentless. And then what happens after? If you even make it to the end of the 75 days, what happens then? For most people, it's a matter of, oh, okay, well, I deserve to cheat now. I deserve to go back to my old ways. There's a documentary online right now. It's on like Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like that about The Biggest Loser. You guys know what show I'm talking about? It's where they lose all the weight in a super short amount of time. And do I think that's the most healthy way to go about losing hundreds of pounds in, a couple months? Probably not the most healthy way, right? Is it entertaining? I think it is. Millions of people watch the show. I don't watch the show, but there's this documentary, and Lindsay, my better half, started watching the documentary. I watched the trailer for it, and I'm like, what's this about? And it talks about a guy who won The Biggest Loser, and now you see him now. I don't know how long it's been, but he's like worse. He's worse off now than he was before. Is that all The Biggest Loser's fault? No. You got to take control of your own habits. Was it the healthiest way to lose all that weight that fast? Probably not. However, was it The Biggest Loser's fault that you blew up like a damn balloon, after the show? That's got to be, you got to take some responsibility for that as well. But that's so common. I'm using that as an example. It's like, hey, during the show, during the 75 days, the 75 hard, during the 90-day challenge, nobody can stop me. But then what happens? People tend to end up worse off than before they started this stupid program. We're not talking about programs here, everybody. We're not talking about the next fad diet. That shit doesn't work either, right? The fad diet. How many people do you know who lost a bunch of weight because they did the South Beach diet, the keto diet? Some people stay with it, very few. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about how do we become that small percentage of people that are going to stay with us for life. I'm in for life, everybody. It's got to be that way. I'm too extreme to give an inch. You give an inch, this thing up here takes a mile, beyond a mile. I'm the type of person where if I mess up a little bit, guys, I am so hard on myself. My inner talk is so bad. I'm so afraid that if I give a small inch, I'll go back. I'll go back to my old ways, which caused me nothing but trouble in my life. Drugs, alcohol, terrible relationships. My life is good right now, and it continues to get better. And the more personal development that I do, and the personal development, the same shit that I'm sharing with you guys, it just keeps making my life better. I'm afraid to go back. So I can't even give a tiny little bit of slack on this rope. There's no slack with me. And maybe you're somebody who's like watching this, like, oh, you're too extreme. That's understood. You're not wired like I am. You don't have this addictive personality, which is like basically, I don't know, it's mental health stuff. We all got our own mental thing going on. But today we're going to be talking about some of the things on how we can just stick to what we're doing. because it's so freaking important. If you want the results, which I know you do, or you wouldn't be watching this video, it's only going to come from sticking to the game plan. And I'm talking 7 days a week, right? We've got to set up a daily routine that is non negotiable. This negotiator, this negotiation voice that's in our brain, it literally will ruin us. And it pops up for me every single day. Every single workout that I'm doing. You don't think I hear the same voice that you guys do? Like, oh, this is hard, right? There's an old saying. It's like the mind or the brain will quit before the body. Our bodies are resilient. But inside of all of us, we got this, I think it's conditioning and programming. But every time we face it, every time we face that quitter voice inside of our head and we overcome it, we get a little bit stronger. It's like having a bank account. Every time that you overcome the negotiation voice in your brain that wants to derail you, and it's subtle, it doesn't scream, it whispers. It whispers like that little devil sitting on your shoulder. It's like, just take it easy, right? This is what pulls you back. It starts with a tiny little string and it turns into a damn rope, right? To pull you back to your old ways. We must be hyper aware of this negotiator inside of our brain. And it's like a bank account in that every single time that you fight it and you overcome it, you make a little deposit. You make a little deposit right into that bank account and it starts to grow. And you know what's growing? You know what the bank account is? It's your freaking self-worth and stress management. You will only grow and you will only create results to the level that you can manage stress, right? And to the level of your personal development of you growing. This is you. This is your journey, right? So, how do we stick to the path? Well, number one, it's about making a commitment. And I remember when I first quit drinking alcohol, it was so hard for me to say that I quit for life. I don't know why. And I was with a program at the time. It was like a entrepreneur, alcohol, people who struggle with alcohol. I'm not afraid to admit it. I've joined every program. I've been to AA meetings. I've been the whole thing, right? I met a guy and he was like straight up just stone cold. I quit for life. And he just owned it. And I freaking loved that. I was so in admiration of this confidence. And I wanted that. And then it gave me the confidence to do it. So maybe I'm giving you the confidence, right? It was so hard for me when I first quit drinking alcohol to admit and just say, I'm done for life. So many people just, I'm going to quit for 30 days. It's easier. I think it's lowering our standards to make other people feel good. Like when we're still drinking alcohol or participating in bad habits and bad behavior, a lot of our circle participates in the same thing, of course, right? And it's kind of, I think we hold back a little bit when we're sharing with our circle of friends and peers and family and colleagues and whatnot and saying, hey, I'm done for life, because we're somewhat afraid of how we're going to be judged, because that's people basically projecting onto you, like, you're quitting for life. What is this? Like, we're afraid of the retaliation. We're afraid of the response. But ultimately, I also think we're afraid, what happens if you do go back? Then you're going to look dumb. That's the ego wants to protect itself. The ego's biggest fear is looking stupid. And the ego does not like making firm commitments because the ego's fear is that you're going to fall off and that you're going to quit, right? And then you're going to feel like shit. And then when you don't keep these commitments to yourself, it's just going to be a downward spiral of like you become this identity of somebody who doesn't keep their commitments to yourself. So how do we do it? Well, number one, use the confidence of other people to commit for life. If it's drinking that you're dealing with, you got somebody right here in me who's literally telling you and telling the world like, hey, I'm done for life, right? If you could muster up the courage to do that, it's the best thing you could possibly do. It's the best thing you can possibly do. And if you can truly know in your heart, this is the best thing for me, which if you're thinking about quitting drinking, that's your conscience talking to you. That's your higher self. That's your soul telling you, you need to quit. If you're thinking about it that deep, you need to quit. because it's not serving you, right? If you even think you have a drinking problem, you do, right? If you didn't, you would be like Lindsay, my better half. She drinks half a glass of wine once a month and throws it away, and she doesn't have a drinking problem. But if your conscience is telling you, if your higher self is speaking to you in your heart and your soul, thinking that you might have an issue with alcohol or anything else, you have to quit for life. You cannot give it an inch. There's no giving it a little bit. There's no moderation. Because what that is, it's like 2 steps forward and then you go 2 steps back or 1 step back, and you're just constantly in this flimsy behavior. That's why we can't set these stupid deadlines either. 75 days, I'm doing it. 30 days, I'm going to see how I feel. No, I'm done for life. I'm done for absolute life. Another thing that we need to do is stop comparing yourself to mediocre people. And unfortunately, this is the way it is. Right now, your inner circle and even your family, it's the same thing with me, guys. I'm dealing with everything I'm telling you is what I deal with and what I go through. The people that you are most likely surrounded by are mediocre. They're just mediocre. And when we compare ourselves to either other mediocre people or we compare ourselves to a worse off version of ourselves, but we're still not the best version of ourselves, we justify bad behavior by saying, oh, well, we're not as bad as that guy. I'm not as bad as Billy. He's worse than me. Oh, my relationship ain't that bad. Oh, look at Susie and Donnie. They're worse than we are. Stop that shit, right? If you know in your heart you're not being the best version of yourself, but you're justifying your current bad behavior and not becoming better because you're comparing yourself to other mediocre people, you're losing the game. You're out the game. That's not good. So stop comparing yourself to mediocre and complacency. Start comparing yourself to elite. You want to compare yourself and you want to size yourself up to people who are doing what it is that you want to do on a high level, right? On a high level, not comparing ourselves to other average people. We're not here to be average. Listen, you're a spiritual being having a human experience. You are capable of greatness. You are capable of creating it for yourself. What you're made of inside is the same thing that creates worlds. It is so far beyond our level of comprehension on how powerful you are, right? Let's not settle. Right? Let's actually set some boundaries. Like, I'm not doing that. And let's not compromise our boundaries. And especially don't compromise our boundaries to make other people feel good. That's why when we're making serious life changes, which we are, me and you, we're doing this, right? We're making serious life changes. Sometimes it's difficult to share it with other people because they're not on the same path. And guess what? When you share your changes and you share your positivity with other people, it's like a mirror. It reflects onto them and they're going to feel worse about their own behavior. Now they're going to throw that up on you. This is bullshit, guys. Set these boundaries and set these standards and do not compromise. Do not negotiate these standards, right? So how are we going to have the confidence to actually do this and follow through? It starts with keeping your commitments to yourself. You've got today, everybody, today. We've got to set commitments for ourselves. It could be making the bed. It could be never having trash in your car. It could be reading 10 pages of a book a day. It could be doing 10 push-ups a day. It could be working out every day. It could be, you've got to set a daily routine and you've never compromise it. It is a 7-day-a-week deal. It is a 7-day-a-week deal because the higher power and the universe, God, right? The one that is creating the best version of ourselves through us, the one that is speaking to us through our conscience and telling us what we're capable of, pulling us in that direction, doesn't care what day of the week it is. We can never fall off the wagon of getting off excellence and headed back into complacency. And then, once we set this daily routine, I've shared this on numerous videos. I'll share mine right now. I'm up at 4:15. I'm thinking about actually making it earlier because it's getting a little easy. We never get easy, everybody. Keep making it harder. We want to overcome as much adversity as we possibly can. This is the self-inflicted adversity because guess what happens when you overcome self-inflicted adversity is you become confident You're like, I'm a beast. I'm a beast. Once you have this confidence, then you are going to step into your challenges. You're going to step into the things that are holding you back, right? I'm afraid to have this conversation. I'm afraid to set boundaries. I'm afraid to have this, tell people the journey that I'm on, right? You're going to be more confident. You're going to be able to stick to your plan by keeping small commitments to yourself every single day. Never compromise. And it doesn't have to be grandiose. I'm not telling you to do 500 burpees a day and run 10 miles a day and we're just got to kill ourselves. And no, how about we start with putting your shoes away when you get home? How about we start with every time you walk past the kitchen sink, you put the damn dishes away. You start to set these higher standards. Start to do it with your clothes. Do it with your immediate day-to-day life. Maybe it's, I'm not going to, if you're in a relationship, you're a man, right? Maybe it's, I'm not going to look at other women online anymore. It's such a big thing. It's all over you. Pull up Instagram right now. Pull up Facebook right now. It's crazy. It's like the algorithm, like purposefully wants you to look at members of the opposite sex or something. It's weird. Just stop that, right? Because you know it's not right. You know there's some regret attached to it. It could be pornography. I personally coach 2 men right now that are struggling with porn. I cut all that shit out. I used to look at it too, right? I cut all that shit out. All the external, right? No vaping, no drinking. What are we trying to do? We're doing these things to change our state of mind, to give us this instant gratification. That's cool. It works. You get a little high, you get a little euphoric buzz, but guess what it carries with it? Freaking shame. And that's the lowest vibration you can possibly feel. If you pull up right now on Google, the vibrational scale, Abraham Hicks talks about this constantly. Google it. I can't take credit for this. A lot of spiritual teachers have talked about the vibrational scale and emotions. It's the emotional vibrational scale. You'll find it. Look at the top is enlightenment, love, joy. Bottom, shame, regret. And so what we need to do is let go and drop anything that carries with it any amount of shame and regret, because that pulls us right into that low vibration. And guess what that is? Now you got to pay karma, right? You do this thing which gives you the instant gratification, and it changes your state and makes you feel euphoric for a minute. It's a little ounce of pleasure for a pound of fucking pain. And then now you got to heal from that. And how do a lot of people heal from the shame and regret they're carrying around? I'm not talking about giant shame here. I'm not talking about this major, I killed someone. Oh, yeah, that's going to carry a lot of shame. Most people haven't been through that. Most people are carrying around, it's death by 1,000 cuts, right? It's death by 1,000 tiny little shames that we're carrying around. Get rid of them all. You're looking at shit online that you shouldn't do. You're walking past that damn sink every single time you see these dirty dishes. You don't do anything about it. Let's start to do something about it. Make these commitments on a small level. And wait till you see your life change, right? These little tiny shames and regrets, we got to remove them all. And that's going to come from removing anything that makes you feel that way. And you know that. It is your higher self communicating with you. You know what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. Stop lying to yourself. So will I. So have I. So what do we got to do? We got to commit to being a person of integrity to ourselves. We must fulfill our daily commitments, start small and build, and keep making it harder. Keep making it more adverse, right? This is positive adversity, because guess what's going to happen? If you don't overcome the positive adversity that you're creating for yourself every single day, your subconscious is going to create some type of adversity to overcome, and you ain't going to like it. And it's going to be the essence, the physical essence of the shame and regret that you're carrying around. And it can show up in many different ways. And this is not where you want to be operating, because the universe, God is just trying to teach you lessons. Our soul is here to learn and grow. How do you learn and grow? You learn and grow from overcoming challenges and overcoming adversity. How do you learn to not touch a hot stove? Same thing with our energy. Same thing with our consciousness. How do you learn what to do and not to do? Right? You learn from learning lessons and overcoming challenges. So we must self-inflict, self-induce, self-create positive adversity. It could come from starting a business, going through the motions, never quit, right? Do these sales calls, do what you're afraid of, face the things that you're afraid of every single day, right? Keep these commitments to yourself. If you set the commitment that I'm going to make the X amount of sales calls a day, you never miss, never miss. And you're going to build so much self-worth. And now, go back to that emotional vibrational scale. What are you feeling now? You're feeling confidence. You're feeling proud of yourself, and you're working your way towards trusting yourself, liking yourself, and ultimately loving yourself. So the way to stick to this journey is keep these small commitments. It's all about the small commitments, and you can build from there. But if you're just getting started, we must commit to never, ever break. We must never break character. We must never get off the path, because now you're going to feel shame. You're going to feel bad, and it can lead to a downward spiral. And if you do slip, remember, a slip is not a fall. You better get your ass right back on it. Please get right back on it. Right? Hit me up if I can help you with anything, everybody. I love you all. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Just remember, you know what I do? I create these notes for a video. I don't even read the notes. I hit record and just go. Stop comparing yourself to mediocre. Stop. Excuse me. Stop. Let's become non-negotiable. This is what I wanted to express to you today. Operate from a higher purpose. And here's the higher purpose. The wantingness and willingness and the pull and the desire to live your highest potential is purpose enough. The easy answer is, oh, I'm doing it for my kids. Yeah, well, no shit. You better be. You better be doing it for them, because you're setting a massive example for every single person that you affect in your life. Your kids being the biggest, right? And your spouse, right? But hearing the call from above, hearing the call from your conscience, hearing the call from your higher self is what Abraham talks about. Abraham Hicks, huge fan. Joe Dispenza, huge fan. Hearing the call from your higher self to be the best version of yourself is purpose enough, because you don't want to get to the end of your life and know it's like, I could have done more. And then you don't, right? And you don't want to feel that shame and regret, because ultimately I think you're going to carry it with you to the other side. I don't know what happens when we die, but we must not have that low vibration, that shame and regret. Let's not have any shame and regret. Let's be all in. The way you do something is the way you do everything. Start small. Clean up your area. Clean up your clothes. Personal hygiene. Never stop. Everybody, never stop. Remove those external pleasures, those things that give you the instant gratification but carry with it shame and regret. Get rid of it all, everybody, and just see who you become. It's not about adding more to your life. It's not about adding the new hack, the new AI, the new tool, the new shiny object. Let's start with removing all the shit that is causing shame and regret in our life, and see who you are, because you're already enough. You are already enough. You came here enough. And now you are going to shine brighter, not by adding to what you already are, but by removing what you are not. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. I'll see you all soon.